Hi friends, welcome back to Let's Go Car Cruising. My name's Mark and I'm a certified car nut. I go to car shows, cruise nights, cars and coffees, and any car gathering I can find, and I get the stories from the owners about their cars, because the stories and the memories are where it's at. Got a little bit of different episode for you today. I'm out at Packards in Rutland, Massachusetts, and he's having an open house to celebrate his anniversary in business and kind of show off the new shop. So we're going to do a little bit of a shop tour. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please click the like and subscribe button. Ring that notification bell, because I'm going to be out there hot and heavy, fast and furious, putting up some more videos, and I really appreciate the support. So without any further ado, we're going to get to it, and we're going to learn about some really cool Packards and other classic cars. Let's go car cruising. All right. Hi, Parker. Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you, Mark.
Thanks for having us. Great new shop. Tell us about the new shop.
So there's a new shop here in Rutland. Last month was our 22nd year in business. We moved here about a year and a half ago to expand and have more capabilities and support more cars in the hobby.
So you've been in that 22 years?
22.
Wow, that's 22. Cool. So this is the new shop, folks. It's got some customer area and some real offices that you're not bumping elbows in. And let's take a walk into the shop.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay.
Nice new shirts too.
Thank you.
All right, so we got a lot more space out here. I've already interviewed George about his.
So I'll give you a quick rundown on the cars that are out here. This one we're looking at right here is a 1940 Packard 180, so it's got the big 8-cylinder.
Okay.
It's bodied by Rolson. Rolson was a coach builder out of New York City, and this car was built for the New York Packard distributorship. It would have been a showroom car to draw people in and get into the showroom and hopefully buy something else.
You can. Okay. So I had someone standing near me and say, "Oh, it's a Darren," and I said,
"No, you'll see. If you zoom in here, Mark, you'll see the coach builder's tag right there, Rolson."
Yep.
And these cars were all, I guess the term would be channeled over the frame. So you see the floorboard's been brought up about 5 inches to give the car a lower overall stance. That's like a hot rodders kind of thing. Is channeling.
Yep. And Darren did that as well, right?
They did.
So it's very similar, but
it's similar, but it is different. On this Rolson, the hood comes all the way back to the windshield frame. On a Darren, it ends here, so there is a little bit of a cowling.
Okay.
On a Darren, the dashboard tilts a little bit to accommodate the steering wheel angle. On the Rolson, they kept the steering wheel, the gauge dashboard in the factory location. So steering wheel is a little bit in your lap. It's not the best seated position, but at least you can read your gauges.
Okay. And the roof lines?
And the roof line's a little different, but the biggie is the back end. The Darren's a little less bubbly.
Okay.
So that's kind of the bigger differences there. But it's a beauty.
It is. It is. Love it.
And then this is a 33 Packard, convertible Victoria, 12-cylinder car. This one got good ownership history from day one. It was a 21st birthday gift for Alfred Vanderbilt. He was the grandson of Cornelius, and he got this car as his 21st birthday gift, and he also inherited the family's equestrian farm down in Baltimore area. I forget what town exactly, but in the Baltimore area. And he had this car until 41. 41, the car was then sold to a local engineer. His name was something or other. Blake was the last name. Blake had the car until his death in 2012, so 71-year ownership. But the car was in sorry condition, and it was then subsequently restored. It was completed in 2016, and this is pretty much the restoration you're looking at, and we've been maintaining it ever since.
I remember the sale in Hershey. I was at the sale in Hershey when it sold.
2012. And, it's really held up nicely, and it's a beauty. And these are the factory colors. You know, the red interior with the black exterior, and even the spotlights. I mean, those were
on it when it was found. Beautiful car. And it's a 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. So smooth as a sewing machine.
It is. And then this car here is also a convertible Victoria. It is a V windshield convertible Victoria, and that was a signature design feature of the coach building firm Dietrich. And again, their bodybuilding tag is on the cowl here. Dietrich convertible Victorias have this kind of false cowl. The cowl comes out beyond the windshield frame.
I see, right, okay.
And it gives the dashboard is inset way under the cowling there. So actually reading the gauges in this car while driving is a little tricky, but it's from a design standpoint, the aesthetic of it's beautiful.
It is gorgeous, yeah. It's a nice ride. I remember the ride in Greenwich with the top down.
That's right. I think we had to go down the highway for a little piece.
Yes. But this one's an 8.
This one is an 8 because the 12, even though the 12 was introduced in 32, it wasn't until January of 32. So what ended up happening was the early cars, which would have been released in like August, September of 31, got the big 8-cylinder, and that was all that was available.
Okay.
And then later on, when Packard did come out with the 12, subsequent models got the 12, but a lot of the custom body cars had already been built. There are a few of various V windshield Dietrichs in 32 that do have the 12-cylinder engine.
Okay.
But you'll see a lot of them with the big 8-cylinder, and that's common. That's common.
Sure. Oh. And
then over here we have another 33 12-cylinder car. This one is a convertible coupe, so it does have a rumble seat. That's what that compartment in the back for, and you probably saw the steps
yes.
on the other side of the fender there.
And convertible coupe means what, for those that don't?
Convertible coupe means it has roll-up windows and the top goes down. So
okay.
It's a coupe. If it was a roadster, which they didn't have anymore, that body style for Packard by 1933, if it was a roadster, it would have no roll-up windows and the top would kind of look a little more, skeleton, if you will. There wouldn't be this big blind quarter here.
Yeah.
There'd be kind of a bar that comes like this, and this would be more open. Last year, the roadsters was 31. So this is a production body, Packard body, that is. No custom coach-built body here, but it's still pretty scarce car, being a 12-cylinder coupe roadster. For all intents and purposes, not a practical car. None of them are practical.
Yeah. Well,
but pretty to look at.
And they didn't have the roads that we had.
No.
That we have.
No,
I mean, they had
most roads. If you found a high-speed road, it would have been 40 or 45 miles an hour in 1933. And one thing to note too on all these 30s cars, you're noticing all the radiator shutters are closed, and you may have talked about this, but they will thermostatically open once the engine reaches operating temperature to allow air to flow through the radiator.
Sure.
And keep
but
the
it looks
engine
cool
cool.
sitting there.
And it looks super cool when it's cold because they're all closed.
They're all closed. Well, great. Thanks for taking a minute to be with us, Parker. I'm glad to be here again, and good to see you, and continued success with restoring cars. You specialize in Packards, but occasionally
specialize in Packards, and some strays wander in from time to time. but our focus is Packards. I did a quick head count the last couple weeks here, and we're at I think it's 145 Packards we've had through our doors for service work. So pretty proud of that.
In total, or
in total?
Oh, okay.
Of all time. I mean, a lot of them are regulars, so we do see them year after year, and they come back. As you've probably seen today, a lot of familiar faces, and people and cars. But we're pretty proud of the fact that we've pretty much stayed true to just working on Packards, but it's a lot of fun, and we get to work on some great stuff. And I still get excited when a new one comes in the shop.
Well, that helps the business and helps your enthusiasm, and you never get bored.
That's it.
You never get bored.
That's it.
Well, continued success, and we'll hope to see you again when something new comes in the door.
All right, Mark.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you.
He's the guy that's doing working on my car. He's helping. Well, he's doing most of it. What's the matter with you? Had a blown head gasket, cracked manifold. The carb was all through the gas belt.
All right, we're here with George, and George, congratulations on the car. I think this is the first time I've seen it
in one piece?
done. I remember over the years and watching the progress go bit by bit by bit, but congratulations. It's absolutely beautiful. Tell us all about it.
Well,
it's a 1950...
It's a 1954 Packard Caribbean.
Okay.
Convertible, of course. They made 400 of them.
Okay.
And it's something that Parker and I always wanted to do. And then 20 years ago, we went to the Upper Peninsula. We saw one advertised. And we went to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in the winter to pick it up We found it, we made a deal with the guy, and then I went back in the spring to bring it home. And then this past September, we finally finished it.
And debuted it in Newport.
It went to Audrain in Newport, where it won Best in Class.
That's awesome.
And then there we got invited to Motor Miami down in Florida.
Okay.
We trailered it down to Florida.
Right.
And we got a class award.
Okay.
I don't know if it's first, second. It was different because they
Sure.
did voting down there.
Okay.
And then we just went to Saratoga Springs for its first AACA event in July.
Yes.
I think it was July or June.
Not long ago.
No.
Yeah.
And we got our first junior
Okay.
in that. And the next event, it'll be down the end of August to Virginia for its senior. we hope.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so it's been a long ride.
So it came out beautiful.
It did. It's a beautiful looking car. It's Sahara sand and Gulf green metallic. Same thing with the interior. I mean, it's a beautiful car to look at. It was made to compete with Cadillac's Eldorado, so it doesn't have any options. It's got everything standard: power seat, power windows, automatic transmission. Everything is standard. There's no
Right. So this
leather interior.
this was the Mac Daddy, the top of the line for Packard.
This was the top of the line. It was to get you to come into the showrooms.
Right.
Like I said, they only made 400 of them, so it was
Okay.
never going to be a real moneymaker.
Sure,
It was
okay.
based off the Pan American show car.
Right.
But it actually went into production. So it's the last of the coach-built Packards, because Packard shipped regular convertibles to Mitchell Bentley, and they did the conversion. They took a regular hood scoop. They were sent over there in primer.
Okay.
They cut the hood,
Yep.
let it in this hood scoop,
Okay.
and in the back, they extended the fenders. The normal fender ends here. They extended this here
Okay.
and added the Continental kit.
Ah, I see. Okay.
And then they two-toned it. And they were only offered in 4 different colors. The Sahara sand in black, Sahara sand in red, Sahara sand in robin's egg blue, or this green, which is the only metallic color, which is why we chose it.
Okay.
Because we wanted something that when the sun hit it, it would pop.
Really jump.
And this car does
It
just
really
that.
pops.
So
Awesome. Well, congratulations again, George. It's
Thank you,
absolutely beautiful. Have a ball with it and
will.
keep going with it.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So I don't
All
know
right,
if you want
Parker's going to fill us in a little bit on, he did the restoration, and while restorations are not something you typically do, this was a nut and bolt, down to scratch, and
This was a
everything.
frame-off restoration. We do restoration work. Sometimes it's just partial restoration. Sometimes it's full restoration. This is full restoration.
Right, right.
This was started out as make a nice runner-driver car, which then morphed into, as a lot of these projects do, into let's make it the best one in the country. And so that's what we tried to achieve with this car. This is a correct Gulf green metallic over Sahara sand color combination with matching leather interior. These cars left Packard as a primered body shell with no roof, no interior, no paint. The wire wheels were installed, and the bumper had the extension brackets, but no Continental kits were installed. And that's how these cars left Packard. They went to a company called Mitchell Bentley. Mitchell Bentley then molded the fiberglass filler panels for the Continental kit, trimmed the interior, installed the convertible top. They cut the hood and pushed the center section up to make that false hood scoop on there to give it a little more of a Continental feel,
Okay.
a sportier feel, if you will. And then they two-toned the bodies. They drilled the holes and two-toned the bodies and made them into the Caribbeans. So when these left Mitchell Bentley, these were now $6,100 price tag cars
In 1954.
in 1954.
Wow.
A regular 54 convertible was about $3,200. So you really
Okay.
stepped up a lot, and that was because of all the coach work that was done on these cars outside of Packard. So these cars were really kind of tailored more towards the high volume dealers like, Boston, Chicago, Los Angeles, the bigger deal,
Sure.
New York. And you would put this in the showroom, hopefully attract some people in, and maybe they'd buy this, or maybe you'd get them to buy something else, and you got a sale regardless.
Right.
This would draw you in. It's a very flashy car. Doing one of these cars was very difficult. It was a very difficult car to find all the right finishes and fasteners and what was plated and what was painted. We found a lot of black and white photos of this car in the Detroit Public Library, so we were able to replicate finishes and that sort of thing. I personally photographed about 14 other 54 Caribbeans to try to document what an educated guess would be for what was correct, what was not.
Okay.
We did go ridiculous on this. I mean, we got the optional green tinted glass, which this car had, and I think it accents the green paint really nicely. It's very subtle, but the side windows are green tint. And one of the silly things, that, again, nobody would notice this, but we did replicate the date codes. It's very faint. You probably won't catch it on the camera, but there is a date code in there, but PPG date code in there.
Wow.
That we did replicate on these. These medallions nobody makes, so these are good used originals. That's all we could do. Nobody reproduces these. The front and rear medallions on the trunk lid and on the grille are new old stock. We were able to find those. A cool thing was Mitchell Bentley affixed a tag on the inside of the glove box that would identify the paint scheme and the trim code, and that's exactly how they were done. They were stuck on there. And then somebody would handwrite the letters and numbers. And we duplicated that sticker from photos.
That's awesome.
It was really quite cool. A friend of mine had an old stamp set, and his font on his stamp set actually matched the original font that was on the original sticker. So we were able to duplicate it. It was a wild, just a stroke of luck, but we lucked out on that one a lot.
Wow.
Again, we had to have a special run of top material made for this car to replicate the original pinpoint pattern and kind of the off-white color. The leather obviously had to be custom dyed. The carpets had to be custom made. The hood pad, everything fabric in this car had to be custom made. Nothing was buy it off the shelf. There's no kits.
I remember you telling me about the trim and all the chrome trim.
Yes.
And how you fitted it. And
so all the chrome trim on the dashboard and some of the exterior smaller pieces of chrome, we would send out, have it stripped to bare pot metal, and then we would hand file it and fit it back to the car to make sure we had a tight fit, get it copper coated, check the fit one more time, and then get it nickel and chrome plated, so that when we were done, you had a crisp, tight fit to either the dashboard, to the fender, to the quarter panel, whatever the piece laid against. We wanted a tight fit with no imperfections or gaps or anything. And if you look too, the chrome is all very flat and straight, just like the paint on the body of the car, very flat, very straight. So that was what we were going for. It was
kind of even better than
yeah. We had a few pieces that we found new old stock in the wrappers, and we took them out and we went, yeah, it's not good enough, but at least we had a nice core to start
exactly
with, and that was a better course. The biggest thing was the under the hood accuracy on this car. That shade of bronze we were able to replicate from a motor mount. That was a 54 only color. 54s were 4 barrels. They had to put a heat shield on these cars because they put an aluminum head on the cylinder, which radiated more heat, so the carburetors were more prone to vapor lock. So 54s only got this heat shield. That was a Packard installed item to try to remedy the heat getting up to the carburetor and boiling the fuel.
Try to find one of them, right?
Yep. Factory power steering, oil filter, generators down below the power steering pump. That pump on the firewall is the hydraulic pump. That operates all the windows in the top. There's about 76 feet of hydraulic
76 feet
under the carpets and into the quarter panels for the 2 top pistons and all 4 window pistons. There's a lot of hydraulic line under this carpet. You don't want to have a leak.
Wow.
We ran the windows quite a bit before we put carpets in this car. And if you look here how the drip rail is black but the paint ends here, that's because these cars got the engine bay painted black at the factory, and then when they went to Mitchell Bentley just taped off the troughs and then painted from here out. So this is exactly. Normally the engine bays would be the body color, but because they left Packard running and driving but no paint on the exterior, they had to paint the engine bay. So all 54 Caribbeans got gloss black engine bays. Yep. We did have a company replicate the Willard battery, the correct spark plug boots with the 90-degree angle boots under the bigger air cleaner. That's 54 only air cleaner. This car took a lot. It certainly took a lot.
Awesome. I was telling George that I remembered it when it was all nuts and bolts and in a bunch of different piles in the other shop. So, congratulations on this one. This is
this one's going to make its rounds this summer. So,
good for you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right. Awesome.
Thanks again.
You got it. All right.
We're here with my friend Ken, and Ken's going to tell us about this big blue Packard, and tell us all about it, Ken, because I don't know much.
It's a 1925 243 7-passenger touring car.
Okay.
Straight 8, 3-speed, and here it is.
There it is. So what's the story behind it? Well, it was in the family for a long time, I remember.
It was my grandfather's. He got it in the late 50s, early 60s, and it's kind of been around ever since.
Okay. Telephone call.
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to get it from my grandfather's estate after he passed away, and
Okay.
here it is.
So it's a family legacy car,
yeah,
and it's important, and you get it out, right?
yeah, a couple times a year, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year. So,
So
it's good.
how's it to drive?
It's like driving a truck.
Big,
Yeah,
are those
double
like-
clutch and
oh, no
Yeah.
synchros. Okay,
No.
yeah.
yeah,
And the big wheels.
big heavy tires, and
Well,
yeah.
it's a heavy car.
yeah,
Even with no top, it's still going to be,
yeah. I think it's like 5,000 pounds.
something.
Yeah. You know, so it's pretty neat. It's straight 8, and check it out. Seamless Customs did the leather over probably about 10 or 12ve years ago.
Okay. I think I
And,
remember that.
Yep,
Yeah.
new top.
A new top, but
And he really did a nice job with that. And it's got the 2 jump seats.
oh, there you go.
Yeah,
So the whole family can go.
it's like the
The
first
extended-
Suburban,
the
right?
Extended
It's like,
family, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Wow, that's really cool.
yeah, it's neat.
Well, thanks for telling us about the car, Ken. And
Yeah, absolutely.
I know you're going to continue to enjoy it, and put the top down and cruise home with it.
That's the plan.
I'll give you a hand
All right, perfect.
it's 2 men and a boy to
Yeah,
put the top
exactly.
down on it,
It's a
right?
3-man job.
Awesome.
All
Thanks
right,
again.
Thank you.
This is a 33, I believe, Super 8, and it's called a Phaeton, and it's a 7-passenger. There's the jump seats. Very nice new leather interior. And the Phaetons were called that because they didn't have roll-up windows. These little adapters where the side curtains frame slide.
So it gives you all the extra things.
Oh,
So
okay.
The base of this was 2,700.
So instead of a window sticker, they had.
Right, these are hanging down on the inside. These are
Ah.
the things.
Okay.
And then you see all the
How
extra
cool to
options.
have the original ones.
Right, and then you see the options that came with it,
That's awesome.
which is very fun.
Yes, documentation in history is
Exactly.
cool.
And the lady that bought this traded in a Pierce Arrow for it.
Ooh,
So,
one of the 3 Ps: Packard, Pierce Arrow, and Peerless, right?
right. But she kept
Peerless
all,
was long gone, but
she kept all her stuff like that.
oh,
It's kind of fun.
documentation's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. Enjoy the car. What year is this? This is a 49. Okay.
Yeah, it's been at Parker's many times.
Yeah, I think I've seen it around. I've been in and out of here. I get an occasional call to do a detail on it, on different things, and
Well, that would be fun. I bet you see some beautiful cars, and I bet.
yeah. I try not to drool on them while I'm working on
Exactly.
them.
An extra hour to get the drool off.
Sure. Here, I'll give you a card on the way out. I've got a
Where are you?
YouTube channel called Let's Go Car Cruising.
Okay, where
I go
are
to.
you?
I'm from Charlton, not far away.
Okay, we're
but-
in Greenfield,
But this is up on, it'll be up on YouTube, and
Oh,
I go to
excellent.
car shows and I talk to people about their cars because
very fun.
the stories are what's cool.
well, that's what's very fun. That's what you learn from.
Yeah.
Very neat. Well, excellent. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Is your name on here?
My name's Mark.
Oh, Mark.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Got my glasses. I see it now.
Ah,
Mark, so.
I need new ones, so I'm with you. Cool. Enjoy the ride home.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're here with Paul, and Paul's kind enough to take a minute to tell us about his 1931 Model A, and it's a town sedan.
Town sedan, so it's a 1931, as Mark said. It's a slant window is what they term them as.
Okay,
So
because
if
the
you
window
look
slants.
at the windshield, instead of being a typical Model A that has a visor, the windshield whole subassembly is canted.
Okay.
And these cars were started to be built halfway through the 31 production year.
Okay.
And Henry Ford had the idea for the 32, which was a big transition year for Ford. He was introducing more steel into the subframes instead of wood, and he was introducing the V8 for the first time. So this was more or less an experimental model for the introduction of the 32 year. They eliminated most of the wood that was in the subframe and the roof and in the pillars, and it's all steel subframe assemblies.
Okay.
Now this particular car the gentleman bought in 1961, like so many people, did very little with it other than rebuild the engine. The car sat for another 30 years, and in the mid-90s, his kid said to him, "Dad, you got to do something with that car or get rid of it." So he brought it. He talked to a couple of restoration shops. He brought it to a restoration shop. This car was a 2-year project. 3 times what the car is worth to restore it,
as most of them are.
Most of them
Yeah,
are.
that's not an uncommon story.
Yep. And so the car was done in 2000, basically.
Okay.
It was finished.
Locally around somewhere? Or?
Yes, locally in the town of Holden, Massachusetts.
Okay.
So the gentleman and his wife got to use it for about 10 years, and then she became ill, couldn't get in the car anymore.
Okay.
So the car basically sat from 2010 to 2020 when we looked at it. The gentleman couldn't get around anymore with it. He wanted to stay in his home, and his kids, one way to do that was to sell Dad's car. And so long story short, my wife and I had known the family for 25 years. He had called me when his wife got sick, wanted me to buy the car then. I couldn't because we had just picked up 2 other cars, so it just wasn't in the cards for that year. So we picked it up in 2020 from the gentleman's family because they were going to sell it anyway.
Sure. Well, awesome. And you get it out and you use it, and I see the Worcester County Model A Club.
Yes, we get it out and use it. Yes, we're part of the Worcester County Model A Club, and as a matter of fact, a month ago, my wife and I put together a trip. We went up to Lake Winnipesaukee.
Awesome.
For 4 days, we drove around up there, took in some of the tours, came back. We did 600 miles in Model A's. We had 17 cars, and only 1 flat tire was the only casualty.
Awesome. That's terrific.
As long as you don't mind driving at 45 miles an hour, which gets you to see all the hamlets, villages, and little towns
you see more
that
that
New
way.
England is
Right,
known
right.
for. Absolutely.
I just met a bunch of people. I stopped and did an episode for the channel at the Great Race stopover in Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh, sure.
And,
Absolutely.
everything
yeah.
from,
Yep.
turn of the century
from
to
speedsters and
absolutely,
Corvettes
all
and
kinds of stuff.
everything in between.
Terrific. Well, thanks for taking the time to say hello.
Absolutely, Mark.
Continued enjoyment and success with the car. Almost any day is a nice day for a ride with the top down because I don't fit in it very well with the top up. I've got a Cadillac here, say early 40s, 41 Cadillac, 4-door. They call it a convertible sedan because it's a 4-door sedan, but the top goes down, the post comes out of it, and you can go top down cruising with it. Really cool. And this is a 38 Packard convertible coupe, 12-cylinder car, and nicely with board, well sorted. And it looks like it's for sale. Fresh restoration of Jack Parker. I'll put a link to his page, his webpage, in the description box. And, it does brokerage and helps people find cars, and he's the authority in this subject around here, so check it out. All right, folks, we're here with Gary, and Gary is a technician out here at Packards, and this is his Packard, and he's going to tell us about it because it's really cool. What do we got here, Gary?
Okay, so this is a 1928 526 sedan, 6-cylinder car.
Okay.
Um,
So they had both 6 and 8s
they
back
had a
then.
6 and an 8, yeah,
Okay.
and a 12. This
okay.
is the last year of the 6-cylinder, of the big 6-cylinder.
Okay.
So this is a full classic Packard.
Okay.
They came out with a smaller 6-cylinder in 32, I believe, when they came out with the 110s and the 120s.
Ah, I see. Okay.
This car spent about 60 years in storage before I got it.
Okay.
The gentleman just kept it to look at it. He never drove it, but it was in a heated garage.
Okay.
It's a very original car. From what I can tell, the hood and the fenders have been replaced. It had been in some sort of an accident. If you look at the Goddess of Speed on the front, she's missing the wheel.
Oh, okay.
Or
the donut, as some say.
the donut, yeah, the donut chaser. But it's a very original car. It's never been apart. Still has the original interior in it. The original,
It's only original once.
It's only original once. It's a very nice driver, very smooth, very dependable.
And you get obscene amounts of attention wherever you take it, I bet.
It's amazing. I can park it next to the shiniest car in the world, and everybody wants to come look at this one.
That's cool. Well, so how long have you had it?
I've had it for this is my 3rd driving season, so
Okay.
it's just about 4 years.
And you're into other stuff as well?
Yes, my family, we fool around with Model A's and Model T's,
Okay.
Fords, early Fords.
And this is a whole different world from that.
This is a whole different world. Yeah, it certainly is.
So, okay. So what did something like this cost new? Any idea?
Yeah, new, this was $26.95. So you could buy 6 Model A's for the price of this
One car. Yeah. So it was the well-to-do
The well-to-do, yeah.
that owned something like this.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. Well, thanks for taking the time to say hi, Gary. It's good to see you again. I don't get out here often enough, but hopefully this video will do well and people will like it and encourage me to come back in and check on some progress of different stuff that comes and goes, because I know there's a lot of cool stuff that rolls in and out these doors.
It sure is.
Must be a fun place to work.
It's a great place to come to work every morning, no question about it.
And you drive this to work.
That's right.
All right, man. Thanks. Good to see you again, and keep on cruising it.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, guys. So Parker, Sherry, we're here to introduce today the Bennett Automotive Foundation. This is a new 501c3 charity nonprofit group that we've organized in memory of our son Bennett. The goal for this foundation is to raise funds for
McPherson College, so that we can provide a $25,000 endowment that is need-based to hopefully help curb what students are having to spend right now with the student loan crisis. So our goal is to help kind of further the career of anybody who needs it, also to make sure that we're also helping ourselves by helping the automotive restoration industry and helping the college to help get more students in and out of the school.
Because we as a hobby need to be more proactive to getting the youth involved.
Absolutely.
And McPherson, for those of you who don't know, is an automotive restoration college in McPherson, Kansas.
Yeah.
And they specialize in restoration and preservation of antique cars, much like what you've seen today here at the shop. That's what makes that college kind of special. It's a 4-year program. So just like any college that any kid goes to, they're going to graduate with 4 years of student loan debt. Right. And in this industry, you want to get out and get into the shop and start working right away. And that can be hard with myself included. You know, after 4 years of college, the debt that you incur, it puts off some other things in life that, you know, maybe buying a home or
getting married.
Those kind of things get put off because you're laden with debt. So this is something to hopefully get young people that are going to that school out in the field, working with their hands and working in shops. There's multiple shops like ours around the country that need new young blood in there and working. And so hopefully this will be something to help offset, like Sherry said, as needs-based, to offset the amount of, hopefully none, but you know, at least offset the amount of
any help, any bit help.
when you graduate.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations on that, and it's a great idea to give back to the hobby.
The other goal of the foundation is that children have access to some of these incredible cars that, you know, Parker gets to work on. Our own children have grown up around them, and they've been really fortunate. They love being in the shop. They don't necessarily love going to car shows because they can't touch them, they can't ride in them. We had a lot of kids at the event today, and Parker was giving rides, and it was, you know, like their first time ever being in an old car,
yeah.
or
Right.
obviously a
That's where
Packard.
it starts.
Yeah, that's where the passion starts.
And that's the fun of it. So if we can, with this foundation, with the, you know, our own cars that we have,
Yeah.
and you know, take kids and bring these cars out to public events, whether it be in our town or other towns, and get them out and get to experience and feel what fun these cars and the
Yeah.
excitement that we get and our kids get. You know, that's something else we're hoping to do with the foundation, and you know, hopefully expand and have other vehicles that, you know, as we move forward, that kids can see the whole litany
Experience.
of you know, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s,
Like the
etc.
country truck shows that they have for
Yeah,
kids.
exactly.
Kind of like that. So a different, you know, obviously we're Packard people, but you know, a different angle on it with a different era of car.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Sounds great.
perfect.
What I'll do is I'll put a link up to your website.
Yep.
Yep.
And,
Absolutely.
Yep.
whatever other kind of information I can link up in the description box, and people can go from there.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming
guys.
out today.
Thank you.
You got it.
All right, we're here with Tom, and Tom's going to tell us about this Packard 12, and it's a 30...
1939.
Okay,
This is the last year they made the V12 engine.
okay. And it's a convertible...
Convertible Victoria.
Victoria. Okay, so it's got a
And-
back seat.
It's got a back seat. Packard made only 17 of these in 1939 with the 12.
Wow.
And this is number 17 of 17. It's the last one they made.
Last one they made
Yeah.
in the last year of the 12.
Yes.
So that's pretty significant, I would say.
Yeah, it's extremely rare.
Yeah. So how long have you had it, Tom?
I've had it for 12 years.
Okay.
Actually 13 years. It was a basket case when I bought it.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I didn't talk to anybody in the Packard clubs before I bought this. I acted very hastily.
Okay.
So the cost of restoring this far outstrips the money that I will get if I ever sell it.
Okay.
You know, it's a lesson learned.
But the car, it's a car hobby. It's not a...
Right. And I've been commended for historic preservation.
You've saved
You know,
something very important
if it
and
makes
very
people
significant.
feel
And,
good.
yeah. So you get it out and you use it.
Yeah, I do.
And
Although I'm nursing a broken ankle right now, so this is the first week I've been able to use the clutch pedal since January.
because they're not hydraulic. The clutches are not hydraulic, is it? Or are they?
It's vacuum assist.
Oh, okay.
Vacuum assist. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That was ahead of its time.
Yep.
Wonderful.
First year for the column shift, 1939. Yep.
So it's a deep blue, and I've got to say it does look very nice in the...
It's a modern facsimile of Packard blue.
Okay.
You can't duplicate the original formula, but
It's close.
it's close enough. Yeah.
Good. Well, thanks for taking the time to say hello,
Well,
Tom.
you're welcome.
I appreciate it. And I think the last time I saw it was in the garage, and I had just finished a day-long detail on
Yeah.
it. And
And it's full of dust right now, and I apologize. I'm lucky I can be here
that's
today.
okay. That's
So-
okay. It's amazing the difference between garage light and natural light.
Yes.
And I didn't get to see it in
Yeah.
the natural light. So it looks good. And well, continued good health to you. Good luck with the rehab. And,
Well, thank you.
Continued having fun with the car,
Yep.
because
Alrighty.
stories and memories are what it's all about. Thanks again.
Okay.
There's a 48 Packard, 4-door, straight 8, standard shift on the column. These cars competed with the Cadillacs and the Lincolns, and they were a premier luxury brand in America at the time. Beautiful cars. It's a 56 Packard Patrician, and it was their senior car of the day. Very, very high-styled, classic car. Again, they competed with the top-of-the-line luxury cars back in the day, and had some unique features. This one here has got the push-button shifter. Kind of cool. Nicely done dash, and interior probably quite close to as it would have looked back in the day. Just a big cruiser, sweet ride. 56 Patrician. These had V8 engines in them.
Yes.
and they went quite well. This is an early 50s Packard, but it's a what could have been. This Packard didn't make a woody wagon back in the day of this car. Somebody did an awesome job constructing this one, and it looks like something that Packard could have made. The joinery and the wood paneling, and this whole back was fabricated in some way, shape, or form. A lot of work in it. A roof rack on it to put your stuff to go with the family to the beach. What a beautiful job. So this is a 49, again, 4-door, and just a real nice cruising car. Don't see a lot of them out there. Take the family out, plenty of room in the big back seat. This one's a little bit older. The grille is different. Pretty car.
At that time, we couldn't do it.
They called her the goddess of speed, and some call her the donut chaser. So this is a neat little speedster, and it's a conglomeration of a bunch of things, but most of all, it's just plain wicked cool. And I'm told it's a real chore to drive because it does what it wants, but it's wicked cool. All right, folks, that's a wrap for today out at Parker's Packards in Rutland, Massachusetts. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, click the thumbs up for the like button, smash the subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you'll see when I post new videos. We're still going to be out there fast and furious at different events. So thanks again for watching. Today was a bit of a different tact for me. Not really a car show, more of a shop tour. So let me know what you think. Did you like the shop tour? Would you like to see more? Leave a comment in the comment box, because if it's popular, I'm sure we can find a way to weasel another invite out here and check out some of the cool stuff that runs in and out of the shop, because there's always fun stuff coming in and out of the shop out here, and we'd love to get back and show you some more of it. Thanks again for watching. Get out there and cruise your car, folks, and make some stories, make some memories, and let's go car cruising.